we compare one child with another child. Remember, each of us is a wonder of the world. We are unique. I don't think any person in sane mind stood before Taj Mahal and said, I don't know why Taj Mahal is like this. It should have been like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Or anybody stood before Leaning Tower of Pisa and said, I don't know why it is angular like this. It should have been very straight. Nobody ever said it. We accepted the wonders of the world as they are. Each human being is also a wonder of the world. By comparing one with another, yes, compare them in a positive way. Let the other child be a role model. Encourage it, but don't take it as a criticizing thing. Every time you compare, the child's creativity goes away. I had a student of mine in my college. When I was teaching the college students, one day my history professor came and told me, Sir, we should do something to Manjula. What happened to Manjula? She is a second year student. She is so dull, sir. She cannot concentrate on the class. She is dreamy in the class. She is not interested in anything. Moment the bell rings, she goes back home. She has failed in the first year. She is bound to fail this year also. I do not believe that 18-year-old cannot be good for anything. If somebody has survived 18 years, at least the spinal cord is strong. Then when 3-4 lecturers came and told me something to do with Manjula, I called her to my chamber and asked, Manjula, how are you studying? She gave a typical answer and said, Sir, I will do well in the final exam. I told, doesn't matter, I want to come to your house. I went to her house on appointed time. A small house. You can very well imagine the mind of this child. She had not done well in academics and the principal has come to her house. She was sure that I would be complaining to her parents. She had dedicated one ear and one eye only for my sake. I entered the house and saw all the walls of the hall were fully covered with extraordinary wall hangers, beautiful wall hangers. I had seen people keeping 2 or 3 to make the house look better. Out of curiosity, I asked the father, Sir, who did all this? He said, Sir, don't you know? Manjula did all this. I was so happy and I said, Manjula, before I could say la, she was there. And I said, Child, I never knew you are so talented. Wonderful. Very well done. First time I saw a spark in her eyes, she smiled and said, 1 second, sir. She went into the room, pulled a huge trunk, which was full of more beautiful artifacts. I told her, Amma, don't open all this. I don't know how you bring it. Bring all of them to the college on Thursday afternoon. She brought all of them very unwillingly. And I gave her the help of 2 attenders, arranged all these things in the auditorium, sent a small circular to the teachers and students. At 4:30, you are expected to go and see the solo work of Manjula. Believe me, at 5 o'clock she was a celebrity. Till then nobody thought she was worth anything. Even the strictest of the strict teachers went up to her and said, Manjula, how do you do that crochet work? How do you do that batik work? Can you teach me? She became teacher to her teachers. Something beautiful happened after that. Then nobody complained that Manjula is dreamy in the class. Teacher started telling, Sir, Manjula is very good in the class. She is asking questions. You know what happened? If you see a leader talking on the stage and 10,000 people listening to him, whom are you watching? Do you watch the leader speaking or the fellow eating groundnut in the last row? Believe me, followers are never observed. Leaders are always observed. What leaders say becomes very important. Therefore, Manjula became a leader. Therefore, everybody started watching her. Moment she became a leader, she had to stand up to the image of a leader. Now Manjula performed well. Finally, she passed her final degree and time passed. 10 years rolled on. One day I was sitting in my office. My secretary told me, Sir, somebody has to come to see you. This Manjula walked in, very confident, good in communication. She said, Sir, I wanted to talk to you for a long time. I neither had the courage to tell you at time. I am in this place only for half a day. I said, where are you? Her answer shocked me. She said, I am the Deputy Secretary in the Ministry of Human Resource Development. I said, my God, what took you there? She said, Sir, I knew that I was good in handicraft. When you told me to come and present in the school, I was really scared. When everybody appreciated, I got so much confidence. I went to Center of Designs, did a diploma, made a terracotta model. It was sent for international exhibition. I got the first prize. And a chance of going to England, do a course in interior design. Then I went to the department as a training. I have traveled more than 70 countries on the globe. Stayed in France, learned French and taught them Indian art. She became the joint secretary later on. She told me, sir, the turning point in my life was the day you came home. I told child, mistake was not yours, mistake was mine. The door was here, but I was tapping it here. If I go on tapping here, the door will never open because the door is there. I told her, but the mistake was not yours, my mistake was mine. I was looking for your creativity in history, economics and sociology, but your creativity is in handicraft. You know what happened? Why this Manjula was not able to perform? Manjula's elder sister is a slightly better student. She used to get first class in the class. Her parents went on comparing with her. See, your sister is so good, she can get 60% marks, you can't do it. So this girl started feeling inferiority complex and said, I'm not as good as my sister. I'm not as good as my sister. Her performance affected. When she realized her talent, she became a very successful person. Comparison is wrong. And the second thing, my friends, which is the curse to creativity, is imitation. The moment you start imitating somebody, creativity in you will die. The tragedy of life today for children is, I want to look like somebody, I want to talk like somebody, I want to think like somebody, I want to write like somebody. In this confusion of trying to be somebody, I am denying what nature is willing to offer to me as an individual. I lose it. You are an individual. The definition itself says you can't be like anybody else. The moment you start imitating somebody, your creativity dies. This is a simple example. When I was in the college, a real example which can touch anybody. I had a friend of mine by name Suresh. He was a very good singer. He used to sing exactly like Kishore Kumar those days. Every college function would have 2-3 songs by Suresh. One day when you are in final year degree, our principal announced that this year, the chief guest for the college function would be Kishore Kumar himself. Every one of us were so happy. Suresh was more happy. Because for Suresh, Kishore Kumar was God. When he found that his God is coming in flesh and blood, he was supremely happy. He had one desire, that he should get a chance to sing in front of the master. With great reluctance, principal permitted him. The day came, Kishore Kumar was sitting on the dais along with the guests. This boy's name was called out. He went on the stage, sang 2 songs so well that if there were to be curtain in the front, nobody would have ever made out whether Kishore was singing or Suresh was singing. After the singing was over, the boy was happy. Now you're all curious to know what would Kishore Kumar say about him. In a flamboyant style, Kishore Kumar came to the microphone, looked at the boy and said, child, you have got a good voice, but you wasted your life. We felt so dejected. This man could not appreciate this boy. One word from you would have taken him to great heights. But what Kishore Kumar told later on would ever remain a lesson for my life. It could be for anybody. Kishore Kumar said, son, don't feel bad when I told you you wasted your life. Because even if you sing like this for next 20 years, do you know what people are going to say? They would say, you sing like Kishore Kumar, but you will never become Kishore Kumar. You become a poor shadow of mine. Then he gave an example. You go to outside world, make an application to the government. Do they accept the originals or the carbon copies? They take the original, don't accept carbon copies. Remember, my friends, if government offices cannot accept carbon copies, how can life accept carbon copies? Life will reject carbon copies. Take the lives of successful people, all of them, any one of them. They were successful because they did not imitate anybody. Does it mean you should not emulate anybody? Emulation is different from imitation. Get the principles of their life, internalize with you, and then become successful. You start imitating the way they walked and dressed, you will never become successful. I can stand like Gandhi in a square. I can never become Gandhi. I can stand like Vivekananda, but I will never become Vivekananda. Therefore, Don't try to imitate anybody, you will not be successful. Is the first lesson I got from Kishore Kumar. As I grew further, I read about Charlie Chaplin. An interesting incident in his life has transformed me. In his life, when Charlie Chaplin completed 60 years of his life, people in America decided to honor him appropriately. What is the best way to honor Charlie Chaplin? They said, best way would be to have a nationwide competition to act like Charlie Chaplin. Anyone who acts best will be given $100,000 those days. Hundreds and hundreds of boys gave their names to act like Charlie Chaplin. Acting like Charlie Chaplin is very simple. You will have a white paint and a Hitler mustache and that tight torn coat, a tight long pant and tight long shoes torn, and the stick in his hand with a hat. All look identical. An announcement was made in the television, press, everywhere. Want to earn $100,000? Act like Chaplin. One day Chaplin was sitting in his ranch, having lunch and watching television. Suddenly advertisement came. Want to earn $100,000? Act like Chaplin. Chaplin is an enormously creative person. He said, I should also participate in the competition. As a rule, he can't. He is one of the patrons. But he could not control himself. He sent his entry in a false name, Thomas Young. Since there are thousands of boys, they had to be eliminated. Their elimination rounds, first round, second round, third round, fourth round. The judges eliminated all of them, finally selected 6 of them for the finals to be held in Opera House in Los Angeles. The hall was full. National television lines were ready to record the incident. And 6 of these people had to go and perform for 10 minutes each. They went and performed. Judges were sitting in the front. After all of them performed, the chairman of the jury came and announced the results. Thomas Young had got the second prize. That means Charlie Chaplin had got second prize for acting like Charlie Chaplin. When his turn came to receive the prize, he went up to the stage and asked the chairman, can I speak in the microphone? Is permitted. He said in a typical style, I'm sorry folks, I cheated all of you. I cheated all of you because I'm not Thomas Young. I'm really Charlie Chaplin. When he said I'm really Charlie Chaplin, can you guess who are the most embarrassed people? The jury. The 6 wise people who had given Charlie Chaplin second prize for acting like Charlie Chaplin. But what Chaplin said would be second lesson in creativity. He told, friends, don't think I deserved the first prize. I did not deserve the first prize because I made a stupid mistake. Gentlemen, your judgment is perfectly right. I did not deserve second prize because, you know what I did? When I knew that I am qualified for the finals, I went through all my movies, selected one movie, took a 10-minute episode from that, watched it 20 times yesterday and today morning, and came and acted like the Chaplin of the movie. Since I was imitating Charlie Chaplin of the movie, I was not original. Very wrong on my part to have done it. What I should have done? I should have thought of a situation and come and acted here. I would have certainly got the first prize because nobody can act like Charlie Chaplin better than me. Since I was imitating my own previous actions, I was not original. The second lesson in creativity. First of all, forget imitating somebody. The moment you imitate somebody, your creativity is gone. Second is, don't imitate your own previous actions. Oh, I did like this in 1994. Can I do the same thing now? It will not work. Remember, my friends, solutions of yesterday are incapable of solving the problems of tomorrow. Solutions of yesterday were good for yesterday, not for tomorrow. You have to invent new methods. When you look at each day as a different day, find new solutions, you become enormously creative. Therefore, imitation is out. Comparison, imitation are the greatest threats to creativity. Then how do you overcome creativity? The barriers are creativity. Lot of barriers are there. Which are the barriers most important to me to overcome? The first barrier that most of us face is called the emotional block. What do you mean by emotional block? I have seen this happening all over. If there are 100 people sitting in the auditorium, I call somebody, can you come to the stage and speak? He says, no, I can't come. I can talk from there only. I can't come on the stage. The content is good. Why can he not come on the stage? He says, if I fail, what happens? These are called emotional blocks. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of uncertainty. All these things worry us. I'll give an imagination. Imagine this. Imagine you are participating in an international conference. You are called the best people on earth. The president, prime minister, and all those people are there. You have got a big auditorium of 10,000 people. You are supposed to speak, and you are the fourth speaker. You are sitting in the last row. There is a small passage in the center. 5,000 people on this side, 5,000 people on this side. You are the fourth speaker. Listen to me very carefully. When the first person is speaking on the stage, are you really concentrating on what he is speaking? Believe me, you will not. First of all, there is butterflies in the stomach. Knees become cold. You start wondering. You start craning your neck and saying, my God, I have to go through this crowd and climb the 3 steps and go on the podium. You are not listening to what the first person is saying because you are forgetting your points. Second speaker. Now third person is speaking. What is happening to you? You are really nervous. And when your name is announced, you stand up and start walking through the crowd. Believe me, you walk as if you are walking for the first time in your life. Why it happens? Nothing wrong about it. You feel that everybody is watching you. You become conscious that everybody is watching you. Believe me, nobody is watching you. You know what people are doing? They're exchanging the visiting cards. And you are from Australia, I am from New Zealand. Where are you staying? They're talking about themselves, exchanging brochures and cards. You feel everybody is watching you. Nobody is watching you. Do you know what most people are talking about? Oh my God, he's only the fourth one. 20 more people to speak. You feel as if you are Mount Everest and everybody is watching you. Nobody is watching you. But who created the pressure within you? I only created the pressure. Nobody told you that we are watching you. Be tense. This emotional block is created by ourselves. Imagine you take your best friend. You're walking on the best street in your town. You're showing your friend the best things there. Best evening. Best friend. You're wearing the best dress. Imagine at that time the bar of the chapel comes out. Bar of the chapel comes out. Then don't you feel miserable when the bar of the chapel comes out? You start dragging your feet, and don't you feel that the whole world is watching my torn chapels only? It always happens.